Several ANC councillor candidates in Tshwane are fearing for their lives with the local municipal elections just around the corner. Several of them have been killed or intimidated over recent weeks. Political analyst Khanyi Magubane joins us now via Zoom to help us dissect the race to win the city of Tshwane. In fact, she's going to be joining us on the line. Khanyi, great to have you. Always good talking to you. The capital city, I suppose, symbolically is a municipality, a metro that any party would love to have, particularly the ANC.
Absolutely. The ANC would definitely love to have Tshwane again because they lost it in 2016, and it was quite a devastating loss for the ANC because they really had built quite a strong base. But the ANC's head of elections has said that, one of the contributing factors to the ANC losing Tshwane in 2016 was infighting over councillor candidate lists. And we know that Togo Titiza in 2016 was also announced as a mayoral candidate, and that was not welcomed because they felt like a person from Tshwane should have been elected from within the party structures, which was not done because Togo Titiza had been parachuted. And it is also for this reason that the ANC has decided not to announce any mayoral candidates for the ANC until after the elections because of the feared political killings. And we know that Tepo Mutawung, who was a councillor in Magubane, was shot dead last month, and there's been many other incidents as well. So it is quite a volatile area right now, but one that holds a lot of power.
All right, let's go back a little bit in time. Why do you think the ANC lost the metro in 2016?
Well, I think we can also look at what was happening within the ANC in 2016. It was a highly contested election period as well, pretty much like this one. But if we listen to what Bigila Balila said, he said, a big contributing factor was the infighting, that ANC did not go into those elections, especially as far as Tshwane is concerned, as a united front. There were divided factions who wanted different people to be in those lists. And because of that, the party failed to secure the metro, and they lost it to the Democratic Alliance. And so what we're saying here is the ANC trying not to see a repeat of that, and that's why they've highlighted security issues, and that's why Bheki Cele has been there. And of course, we know that there's been a lot of incidences that have been reported to the IEC, where no less than 14 complaints of the party candidates list procedures not being followed properly have led to people complaining to the ANC, to the IEC. So it's a highly contested municipality, Peter, and it's one that any party would love to have in its book, but it's not going to be an easy fight to get there.
So there's been a shift in terms of party leadership since the last local government elections, and the party, the ANC in particular, has been selling a story of rejuvenation, fixing house, and a new era. Do you think that they've done enough to sell that message to the voters so that they have better fortunes at the elections this time around?
Unfortunately not. I think that too much of the ANC's infighting and political divisions have been playing out in the public, and as such, I think people have a better clue and they have an idea of the fact that the party is not going in as a united front again into a local government elections. And most importantly in Tshwane, they've had recurring water issues that have lasted for a really, really long time. So we're talking to communities that are still sitting with, structural problems that they've had since 2016, since the 2011 local government elections. And as such, the strategy that, has worked before of showcasing what each political party has done under its administration, that ticket, has reached its last day. The political parties that are going to reach voters now are those that are going to come with today's solutions. How we're going to solve that. The DA is, riding on the back of a deficit that it claims was left by the ANC in the city of Tshwane. And, Peter, without taking too much time, there's a lot of issues that we can cover.
Do you think the DA's done enough as well? I mean, we've heard the party leader saying that, in the short time that we've been in power, we've been able to fix 70,000 streetlights or whatever it was. And I just wonder, has there been enough visible change in that period of time that people might say, we have noticed a difference, maybe let's give them a chance? Last election, we have to admit that they were probably also beneficiaries of the misfortunes of others. But this time around, they also have had their own drama, haven't they, coming into these elections? Putting all of this together, how do you see their chances?
Well, I mean, the DA's mayoral candidate, Randall Williams, has been very vocal about, what the DA has inherited and what they intend to do. Of course, their payoff line is DA gets things done, and that's really what the DA is promising the people of Tshwane. Unfortunately, it's going to take a little bit more than 70,000 streetlights, to get people to trust in you, because we're dealing with historical disappointment, that stems post-1994. We're dealing with issues that predate even the DA themselves. And we know that when apathy sets in, when people become apathetic, when they lose faith, in politicians, to them, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if it's the DA or the ANC, and we've seen Action SA has also come in as a very strong contender. But it makes no difference to people who, at the end of the day, they don't really care who provides the service. As long as they open the tap and there's water, that there's safe street lights, that there's tarred roads, that they have all their basic needs being met. I think at the really, really heart of things, people don't actually really care which political party does it.
Might the EFF surprise? I mean, the last time around, there were new kids on the block, but they've been around for a while now. They've established themselves, they're visible, and they're all over the country. Could they make an impact in the capital, and perhaps, if they don't win, be a significant player in whatever coalition needs to be formed?
That's actually quite an interesting point that you're raising, Peter, because the DA has made it clear just a few days ago. John Steenhuisen made it clear via his social media network on Twitter that the DA will not be considering a coalition with the EFF in any shape or form. He says they would rather starve than eat at the EFF table, to paraphrase. They say that they don't share any values with the EFF, and that they don't see how a partnership with the EFF would work successfully. He says they learned a very tough lesson by going into a coalition with the EFF in 2016, and that ended very badly for the DA. Now the ANC, on the other hand, I think would be more amenable to go into a partnership that could be mutually beneficial for the ANC and the EFF. But I think that the EFF is definitely going to choose who goes into partnership. It may snub the two parties and go into a coalition with Mashaba, and increase the base for the Action SA and the EFF. So it really could go either way.
Okay, Khanyi Magubane, we're going to speak, I'm sure, quite a bit over the next week or so as these elections unfold. But Tshwane, perhaps another one of those hotly contested areas. Thank you so much for your insights today.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.